You use Indigo Ferra Tinctura to mimic my dye color. But I'm going to give you the opportunity to sell our dyes because our dyes are made from fermentation of little glands of shellfish. We're selling so much of our product that shellfish is going extinct because we only sell our dye to royalty while you sell yours to low-life incomers.
We're not just gonna take this deal because we want a bunch of kings and queens to look better.
A better color means royalty demands more. A higher purity means a greater yield. That means our dye is expensive. It provides a much greater profit compared to your dye, as it's seen as faulty, ruining the brand of our product. Now listen to me. You have one of the best, no, the best company that sells Tyranian purple in all of the world, right in front of you, offering you this very deal. With our process, you'll make a much higher profit of selling these dyes.
Okay, so you say, but why cut us in?
One of our shareholders is going bankrupt, and we're getting prepared to sanction them off soon. So we have a spot available if you handle the process. Pure Tyranian purple. And of course, if you can give us half of your company. Think of it as insurance, a failsafe if all happens. And we've already bought 3 gallons of dye ready to be sold and distributed. Are you ready?
Who the heck are you?
Everyone knows exactly who I am. I'm the man who sells the best and purest form of Tyranian purple.
You what?
Say my name.
You're Chroma.
You're gosh darn right. Now a quick word from one of our actors.
The reason why we mentioned Indigo Ferra tinctoria in the scene is because this plant produces a molecule named indican. This is fermented and oxidized into indigo. This is compared to Tyranian purple, which is produced from the oxidation of a shellfish secretion. These two compounds are very similar, as the only difference is the bromine attached to the Tyranian purple. Also, the reason that we mentioned that shellfish almost went extinct is because they almost did, since it took 9,000 shellfish just to make 1 gram of Tyranian purple.
Yeah, that was awesome!
Yes!
Okay, you know. And now we present to you Cooking with Maya! So to start off today's cooking show, we are doing the milk rainbow experiment where we pour milk into a plate, add 3 different types of dyes, and then drop dish soap into the middle, causing a swirl effect to appear. Now right away, you can probably notice we are using red, green, and blue, and I'm going to explain one each to you accordingly. Blue, which is known as indigo, was made from a type of plant, specifically Indigo tinctura, although nowadays it is more made with oil-based kind of materials to give off a more blue effect. The next color we are going over is known as red, or Allure red, and surprisingly today it's still made the same way it was back then, using cochino bug, so it never really changed. So next time you eat something red, just know that you're most likely eating bugs. And lastly, we have green, which is a combination of yellow and blue, or indigo. This type of green is malachite green. It also has some very unique properties to it. Due to this, it was used by plenty, or specifically 2 different types of civilizations, ancient Egyptians and Greeks. Now back to our scheduled program. Alexander had his soldiers dye their uniforms with large patches of blood red dye. The attacking Persian army, assuming they were assaulting wounded survivors, expecting little resistance, were as easily defeated by the small number of Alexander's soldiers, and, if true story, by the Alzeri molecule. Elijah.
How do they dye the big red patches of blood?
So what they did is they pulled a military tactic out, and what that did is it would confuse the enemy soldiers. So let's make an example here. If I'm covered in all black, right? Let's just assume this is all black, just to save time. You're not going to see anything that goes under, right? So the soldiers, when Alexander was leading, they would be covered in that color. Now, let's say they found a tactic at how to see their wounded, and so when they shot them, they were like, oh, they're bleeding because it's a darker color red. Now, what Alexander did is he implemented the strategy of making their dyes a lot darker red instead of just a regular red. So whenever soldiers would see someone lying on the ground that was supposedly or presumably dead, they could rise up and kill that soldier. Meaning, you could play dead by not being dead. You could get shot, but not actually be shot. It would confuse the other soldiers. Okay, who wanna come next? Oh God, you're alive?
Yes, I am.
Oh God! Cortez introduced cochineal to Europe, but its source was kept secret until the 18th century in order to protect the Spanish monopoly over this precious scarlet dye. Later, British soldiers became known as redcoats from their cochineal dyed jackets. Maya?
Why did it get the dye?
So back then, when the Spaniards and the British people were colonizing both America and Mexico, they established trade routes. So something like this, Maya. Something like this. So let's say this is all of America, right? And this is Mexico. They'd established trade routes to each other. And one day, maybe the Spaniards had came up with, ceramic acid, the scarlet or cochineal dye, you could say. You could say that one time they were like, we have this special dye for you. Maybe you would like to use it to further your war, or maybe make your soldiers look more intimidating, as red is an intimidating color. So that is, if that's what you're asking about, then that's the correct question or answer.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Why, good evening, British people.
Good evening.
I happen to have got this red stuff.
Oh, what is it for?
It's used to make things the color red, specifically clothing.
That would be really useful. How much do you sell it for?
So for like 3,000 pesos.
That's a little much. What about 1,000?
You know what? How about 2,000?
What about 1,500?
You know what? You got yourself a deal, British person.
Thank you. Nice having business with you.
All right.
Thank
You have a good day now.
You too.
Goodbye.
Yo, Mr. Purple, it's time to cook.
If there's any thought, better think of me for a little support.